Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today is going to be purely on the Mini. We have received the pistons today, so we've got the block set up here and we've finished honed it. I'm actually just letting it cool. So I measured the pistons, the new ones, and they do measure what I expected them to measure. So what that means is we can bore this block to the round figure or the bore size that it's meant to be. Obviously, like I said yesterday, sometimes new aftermarket pistons can measure a bit bigger than what they should. They should measure less the running clearance on the actual bore size. But these measure as they should be. So I've set this bore gauge to what they should be is on the 0. So we normally hone them about 1/4 thou, 1/2 thou bigger than what they should be, just to give them that little bit of extra bore clearance. And the reason for that is because something like this, if they do use it for motorsport, it's not going to be anything like enough extra to create piston slap or anything like that, but it's just that little bit more just to be a bit safe. So they normally give a sort of +1 thou limit anyway, so we just go to that sort of 1/2 thou, 1/4 thou. So if you can see that there, if it went to the 0, that would be cock on. So we're just about 1/2 thou on the top there, about 1/2 thou on the bottom, and it's just closed up on the middle there. That's normally what happens. It normally closes up on the middle a little bit. So yeah, just checking that bore. It's okay on the middle on that axis, but on this one we just need to let that cool a little bit more, and then we'll just ease it out very slightly. And the same with that one there. And that one there. So yeah, we'll let that one cool. And then that's going to be, as I say, we'll ease it out just slightly and we'll let it cool again, providing it all measures fine. We should get this outside, get it washed, and we're going to proceed in getting that paint off, and we're going to repaint the block. So that will be done and ready to be assembled. So Carlos has stripped the cylinder head out. He's had the guides out today, as you can see. He's pressed those out on our lovely little press. He's wire brushed all the cylinder head, blasted the combustion chambers, etc., and he's give this a nice coat of the fresh red, ready. So when this is dry tomorrow, we're going to press in those guides and we're going to cut the seats, put the valves in there and put all the new springs on. Still got to recondition the rocker shaft, which I will do tomorrow. I've had the new shaft today, so that head will be complete. So as I said yesterday, the crankshaft's all done and balanced. It's all still as a whole at the moment, so I'm just going to spin this up. So a few of you wanted to sort of see the machine in motion, so we give it a little helping hand, press the start button, and away it's going. Yeah, it looks fairly lethal. So if we turn the machine to R to the right, and we turn this lever over, you can see that it's down by 0. So that's near enough bang on. This right hand side, when you've got the flywheel and the clutch on, it actually goes up a little bit, but this is balanced. It just goes up a bit because you've got that overhanging weight. So really you should check this end when you haven't got the clutch and the flywheel on, because this side's sort of making the crank do this. That's why it's gone up a little bit. But mark my words, once that's off, this end's running perfect. So if we turn that to left, turn this one here, obviously that is down to 0. So that is properly balanced. Stop the machine, brake. We're going to get this thing took off the machine now and stripped apart, and we're going to polish the journals on the crank. So as I said to you before, we don't polish it before we run it on these rollers, because you see it sort of, it doesn't mark them, but it just sort of stains them a bit. So give this a polish, and then that's ready to go. Once it's had a good clean, it's ready to go in the engine. Right guys, so it's time to sort these con rods out. So what I do is torque up these big end bolts, measure the housings. If they're not right, we shall resize them. It's surprising really how many sets of con rods we have out of various old cars that, even though they haven't give any trouble on the big ends or the bearings look okay, the housings actually don't measure what they should do, or they've got ovality, or so that's the first thing we do. And then we go about balancing the rods end for end. So we've got the new pistons around the corner, so I'm going to go ahead and hone the block to what it should be. I've actually measured the new pistons, and they do measure what they should do, so we're just going to go and hone it to the round figure, and plus probably quarter of a thou, half a thou, something like that. So these are the big end shells. I'll show you these. I should have showed you them the other day, but I noticed a few people have commented saying what the old shells look like. So you've got the big ends here, which, to be honest, considering they've been in there since new, don't look too bad. You've got a bit of sort of impregnated debris in there, it looks like, or it's started to pick up something impregnated in the white metal. And as you can see, the mains here, and we find this on a lot of old engines, the crank measures absolutely fine and will polish up perfect, but you see where it's, my camera will focus, you see where it's just starting to wear through the white metal to the backing, the copper backing there. So these are definitely on their last legs, and in a minute that's going to start to wear the crank anyway, so he's timed it well. So here we've got the con rods, got the old pistons which we've took off. So as a lot of you may know, there's two types of ways the pistons are held onto the small ends on the con rods. You've either got a circlip either side of the piston here which holds the pin in, so the pin will slide through the piston, through the con rod, which will have a bronze bush in there, and then a circlip the other side, and that holds it in and allows the rod to move over, sort of slide from side to side. Or you get this design, which on the minis you have no bronze bush in the small end there, and the pin is a shrink fit in the rod. So to assemble them, what you have to do is we cool the pins down, heat up the end of the con rod, and you've got to be very fast and sort of slide it all in once this hole is opened up a little bit, and get it all in line. But you've got to be very quick, because as this cools, which it cools very rapidly, it will pinch the pin and then you can't move it. So that's what we've got to do on these. Sorry, to disassemble them, you've just literally got to push them out. So you've got to rest the piston either side here, push the other side and just push the pin out. And we do that on our press, or we did do it on our press, but at the moment our big 60-ton Epco press is being serviced, so we've sent the hydraulic to the top to be done, and we're also getting there's new bronze square bushes that sit in here that go up and down the screws that the bed rests on, and they're here, and the threads are not very good on them anymore, so we're getting new ones made. So temporarily we've got this little beauty, courtesy of Stuart over at Alfa Ragazzi, and yeah, neat little thing, a little bit more hard work than the automatic one, but needs must at the moment. So I'll show you a little video of us pressing those pins out of the con rods. So thanks ever so much for watching, guys. Really appreciate that. So this video has been dedicated to the mini engine that we're doing. We just want to show you this week an everyday engine that we do from start to finish, just to show you what's involved with the machining processes and the building, etc. So just something slightly different this week. We've got a video coming up in the next couple of days to do with this engine. So this is a Mazda 2.5 4-cylinder that we built quite a while ago. He hasn't really mentioned warranty, but it's had a bit of a catastrophe. It looks like an oil issue, but anyway, we're going to do a video on that. Thanks ever so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Until the next time, hit the subscribe button, like, and remember to comment underneath. Really appreciate that, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.